Hey folks, it's Drew back with another Pokemon discussion and discourse type deal, except I'm not really, listening to anybody else. It's kind of just me talking to you, that type of discourse. More of a rant or an essay really, but here we are, and I'll just get the hard part out of the way. I think that Pokemon Nuzlocke suck. I think they're terrible. Go ahead and lambaste me in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe while you're there. It extends my lifespan. But I don't think that they're really bad because they're hard or I don't enjoy them. I do enjoy them very much. I think that they are untapped. They have a lot of potential that goes unseen, and it's mainly Pokemon itself's fault. It's really their fault. It's not the fault of the players or the people who are playing it. Originally, the whole hardcore Nuzlocke, the harder thing going on here, it was a different way to play the game. It was a way to make Pokemon harder when Pokemon refused to make the game harder themselves. And, that's fair in some ways. It is their famously for toddlers game, but I definitely agree and want that challenge myself, and we should be trying to make it. The issue that I see with the Nuzlocke as just a type of game, I want to codify it right here as a genre, first of all, in this discussion, because it's a great idea. It's a great idea to make Pokemon harder and to play this game this way, but it's always locked inside of the confines of Pokemon. You always have to sit through the RPG, the monster collecting mechanics, and go through the story that the game has to offer. That's fine to a certain extent. It's not great, but you play with the hand you're dealt with, so to speak, and that's why I think it sucks. It's a genre mismatch. Trying to play something hardcore, you're trying to play something that's kind of arcade style, it's Pokemon permadeath, you're getting random encounters on each route, things are supposed to be harder, things are supposed to be more competitive, but the court is not built for this game, so to speak. It's you're playing in the wrong court. So what if we could play in the right court? I've always had this thought. If we could, play in a Pokemon sandbox that was actually built for Nuzlocke instead of playing Nuzlocke inside of a built for Pokemon sandbox. Of course, the Pokemon experience is great. I love playing the normal games and just having a good time, but I enjoy doing the hardcore stuff too. I enjoy ramming my head against the wall sometimes and, trying to scrap it out with a bit of a harder team, something a little bit closer to competitive that I can do at home. And I've always wished and wanted for a mod or style of mod for a game, or just some way to do it that really breaks down the rules that Pokemon put in place, like how you have to do the story and go play whatever the gimmick is. They force you to go to the Pokemon movie theater in Black 2 White 2. Like, come on now, not everybody wants to do that. And it's okay that it's there, but we're looking for something different, right? I've wanted this for a really long time. Nuzlocke themselves, the whole idea, and just like difficulty mods in general, that is in the right ballpark. We are moving towards what we want, right? And that's great. I've seen things like obviously like the big one, Emerald Kaizo. That one made pretty much everything like a competitive battle, and Radical Red comes to mind. That one's pretty cool. These are ones that I've seen that, they really ramp the difficulty up to 11 and they make the game feel like the competitive experience. They're still bogged down by the railroading and RPG elements and style that the original game works in. That's okay. They're great, and people love those. People have worked on those tirelessly, but it's a step in the right direction. It is definitely moving towards the potential that they have. Something that I saw recently on Twitch and getting pretty popular. I believe it was Sky, I Ate Your Pie, popularized this type of playthrough called the Ironmon, which, if you don't know what an Ironmon is, it's pretty similar to Nuzlocke, except you are locked in with one Pokemon. You can do it on a variety of difficulty sets, and it uses a randomizer, and it's like just the essence of bashing your head against the wall. I think that is even further breaking down the hurdles, breaking down the game itself into something more palpable to that experience that people want out of these creatures that they love. And I love to see that. I haven't tried Ironmon myself yet, but I've enjoyed watching people play it, and I've enjoyed reading about it, and it's more of that creative challenge, you know, being leveraged by the players with, you know, kind of a crappy hand that they were dealt with. Another thing that comes to mind that I saw more, certainly they're still being worked on and being made every now and then, but something I always saw was like when fans would make their own regions, and that was another way to kind of break down the genre difficulties that Pokemon has for players who are looking for something tougher, you know, because they don't have those same limitations that a game dev studio does. But generally, and in my experience, hopefully I'm wrong, if y'all know any that break the trend on this, they still adhere to those RPG facets, you know, where you're moving through a region, you're a kid on an adventure with your friends, and you're taking care of business. And usually those hit the spot, I would say, you know, where you get tons more freedom, lots of nods to fans, and that's just great. But I think I've finally found what I consider the breakthrough on this, and I think it might even be the beginning of something just mind-boggling for Pokemon and people who are trying to play Pokemon in their older age that are looking for something more competitive, and it's the Pokemon Emerald roguelike, where this game is, you know, a lot of recycled graphics and a lot of recycled assets from Emerald. I believe it all comes from Emerald, but the way that you play the game itself is what's changed. That has been broken down. Now, in this game, Pokemon functions like Slay the Spire. It functions like Hades, where it's arcade style. You're doing runs, and you're not a kid on an adventure. You're like a meta experience almost, where it's like you're a person putting a quarter into an arcade machine so that you can start another run on this Pokemon. And levels are routes that have been cut out of the game. On those routes, encounters are random, items are random, so you just get dealt what you're dealt with, kind of like any of these other like roguelike deck building games, and then you just try to do as best as you can. And the overarching formula is not even really that related. The 8 gym leaders, 4 Elite Four, the champion to beat the game, that's in place. But the way that you get there makes all the difference. You'll see like they have like these branching paths, and you can go to various encounters. You have random encounters, like you can go to the healing station, you can go to the Mart station, there's a game show station, there's a cemetery station where you have a chance to revive a fallen Pokemon, there's encounters against legendaries and strong Pokemon, and there's no RPG to sift through. It's like if you put the raw fruit that is like a Pokemon Nuzlocke and you put it in the juicer, and that's Pokemon Emerald Rogue. Fine, delicious juice of that like roguish Pokemon hardcore goodness. It's all right here. I love it. I thought it sounded cool when I picked it up. I thought it sounded cool after I played it. It's amazing. It puts that experience in its most concentrated form of, you know, permadeath, dealing with those consequences, and, you know, it's quick and it's easy because it cuts out all the stuff in the middle. I don't even think this is the end goal. I would add to this. This might even be the beginning of breakthrough Pokemon play, where people are figuring out ways to play the game differently. I think it's only the beginning. I hope it's only the beginning, because when the peg doesn't fit the size of the hole, one of the two has to change. Nuzlocks and Pokemon difficulty mods have long been trying to fit a square-shaped peg inside of a circle-shaped hole. I'm really excited for what these new mods are bringing, Pokemon roguelikes, you know, and just keep working off of that formula, you know, and like figure like what are the parts of Pokemon that I actually want? Like, can I effectively, in a way that still functions, cut everything out that I don't want, you know, all the fluff? What is fun about Pokemon? What do I want to play? And, you know, on the other side of that, like for the things that are more like fun, having fun with your pets and your friends, I think lots of other games, like one that comes to mind recently is Temtem, that I've seen that, you know, like kind of captures the fun and enjoyability of Pokemon. So why not the other side? Why not the harder and more difficult side? And I think we're going to be seeing lots of games like those, and I hope that we keep seeing them, because this game is truly a masterpiece. Cannot recommend Pokemon Emerald Rogue enough. It is a breakthrough experience if you are somebody who enjoys Pokemon with a dash of challenge on the side. Alright folks, that's all I got. Thanks a lot if you made it this far, and hope to see you next time. Drewby out.